All right. Good morning, students. We're going to look at an introductory to algebra today. Simple introductory. Some areas you should already be au fait with. So the objectives of the lesson is to have an understanding on the parts of an expression. Next one is to know the difference between an expression and an equation and to solve simple equations. Good. So I'd ask some of you to find out about the parts of an expression. Deshana.
Miss is a collection of symbols that jointly express a quality. The express of a circumference of a circle.
As a part of an expression? Is that part of an expression you're saying to me?
Yes, miss.
All right. So here we have parts of an expression. We say that we have 2 and 4 in red. And what are those two numbers called? Anybody?
Miss?
What are the numbers, the number 2 and 4 called? That's on the screen. 2 and 4, what do we call them?
Coefficient.
Coefficient. Why do we call them coefficient?
Because that's a base number.
Because it's the base number. Very good. Good. And then we have X and Y in blue, in sky blue. What do we call those numbers? Those letters, sorry.
Variable.
Variables. And then we have a 9 by itself. It's called a constant or a constant term. So in this part, the parts of an expression would be the coefficient, the variables, the constant, and we also have the exponent. All right, we'll show an example with the exponent just now. But as long as a number is close to a variable, it's called a coefficient. Because I'm sure you're wondering why 9 is not a coefficient. All right? 9 is a constant because it stands by itself. There's no variable next to that. So as long as there is a variable and a number, that number is the coefficient. All right? So the coefficient is the numerical term next to a variable. Right? And the literal or the letter terms are known as the variables. And the number or letter that stands by itself is known as the constant. Also, we want to look at how many terms are in this expression. There are 3 terms. And each term is classified or separated by a equal sign, a multiplication sign, a division sign, a subtraction sign, right? By any of the 4 operations. So here we have 3 terms. 2x is a term by itself, 4y is a term by itself, and also 9 is a term by itself, right? Are we clear? Anybody have any questions? Anyone have any questions they would like to ask? Shekhar, you have a question? Nobody? All right, let's move on. Look at this one now. This one is a little bit more precise. So we have 5x cubed plus 4y squared minus 7xy minus c. The coefficients are 5, 4, and 7. X, y, and xy are the variables, right? And you see here they have operator where they have plus and minus. Those are the ones that separates the amount of terms that you have in an expression that I was stating earlier. So now we have an exponent in this one. So what do you think is an exponent? What's another word for exponent? Shamar, what's another word for exponent? Troy?
SMS.
What is another word for exponent?
This is like you explaining something.
Like you're explaining something?
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Dashana? What do you think is another word for exponent?
Miss Ayun.
All right, that's okay. Ariande, any idea what's another word for exponent?
The power index.
The power or the index. Very good. That's correct. So Where you see the 3, or what we refer to as the cube, or the 2, we say that's the power. So it's 5x raised to the 3rd power, or 5x cubed. We have 4y squared, or 4y raised to the 2nd power, or the 2nd index, right? And what is the index for 7xy? Samika, what is the index for 7xy?
Miss, you don't have an index.
It doesn't have an index. All right, so when in an instant like 7xy where there's no visible index, we always assume that the index is 1, right? Are there any questions? You can unmute your mic now and ask a question if you can, if you have a question. Any questions? Anybody? Samika? I'm seeing you holding your mouth. You have a question that you want to bring out?
No, miss.
Tiffany? Good. So write this down for me. X squared plus 2xy, x squared plus 2xy plus 5. Good. So take a minute and identify the parts of this expression, and I'll volunteer persons to answer the question. All right. Troy?
Yeah, miss.
What is the index or the exponent or the power, as we say, for the expression that I just gave to you?
Let's breaking up near the hearing.
All right, so I give the expression x squared plus 2x plus 5. And I'm asking, what is the exponent or the index? Shamar, you want to help him?
Yes, miss.
I'm asking,
Yeah.
what is the exponent or the index?
Mister, who you asking me? Even know myself.
I just asked the question. Do you understand? Nobody asked the question. Samika,
X is 2.
Samika,
Yes, miss.
what is the index or the exponent?
Square.
Square. Why is squared? That's correct. Why is square the exponent?
How's it tell you that the x is times by 2?
Because the x is,
Good.
it is good. You're explaining why it is the exponent, which is fair. Good. So x raised to the 2nd power, x times itself, means that this here is the exponent. Good. So Ariane, what are the two coefficients? There are 2 coefficients there.
Miss 2 for 2xy
For 2x
and
yes.
1.
And 1.
1
Very, very good. Because 1 represents
the x.
the x. Very, very good. Very good. I said that earlier, so I was looking to see who would have got it correct. Deshana, do you understand?
Yes, miss.
Good. So you're going to tell me what's the constant term there?
It's 5.
5 is the constant term. Correct. So how many terms are in this expression? Somebody else answer me beside the person that I just asked. Shekhar? Somebody else?
Right.
There's 3 terms.
There are 3 terms, right? And what are the operations that separate these 3 terms? The operator that separate these 3 terms.
Miss the plus sign.
The plus signs. Very, very good. All right. So here is a exercise for you to complete now. I'm giving you a few minutes to do this. So you have the expression here, 4x minus 6y plus 8. So you see this
Miss,
column?
start again.
It's on the screen, Deshana.
See it.
Okay. 4x minus 6y plus 8. It's right there. So here you have vocabulary or word. You have definition, and then you have example using the expression above. So for instance, I'll give you a simple explanation. I'll give you one of the variable. So for the definition, you write a small, one sentence, what you think is a variable from the explanations before. And you use an example from the top here to say which one is the variable. There are two variables. You do the same for coefficient, you do the same for constant, and you do the same for term. Please start working.
It's not really understand what it is.
You don't understand? What is it that you don't understand?
What you gotta do the definition, the example.
You need to explain. All right, I give you an expression here, 4x minus 6y plus 8, right? That's the expression I give to you. So you need to write a small definition for variable there. If I had to write a definition, I would say it's all the letters in an expression. That would be my definition. And the example, I'll give you one example from the top. X would be a variable, right? There's another variable there. Same thing for coefficient. You write a sentence saying what is a coefficient. That's what a definition is. From the expression above, 4x minus 6y plus 8, you write the coefficients. Same thing for constant, same thing for terms.
Okay, I understand.
All right. Start working.